Here we are, live at 5:20 minutes. I had to say it again. I think we need to be live at 4:20.
Why would we need to be live at 4:20?
4:20? No, you do know what it means. Oh, yes, you do. You can't even lie. You just said it a few minutes ago.
No.
Yes, you
I
did.
said
You
that
said
Laura
that.
asked
if
12.6
is the new 420. And FYI, anything with a 6 in it was the new 420. And speaking of 420, that is 6. Damn it. We'll get it started.
I promise I won't get you started.
12.6. I actually lived at 12.06 at one point.
I promise I won't get you started because I know where that leads.
It leads to smoke weed every day. That's where it leads to.
Really?
Yep. If everybody's going to legalize it, you might as well get spliffed, as the old folks used to say. Right? It's all good. It's legal. I think it should be like next to the cigarettes. If it was, guess what? Cigarettes would be in trouble. Even though cigarettes are more addictive than weed.
Well, that's because you can't become physically dependent upon marijuana.
That's what I'm saying. So the people that smoke will still smoke, but you know. Smoke weed every day.
No.
Continuing the 90s rant that started yesterday. Right, Aaron?
What?
Smoke weed every day? What are you doing?
I turned on the lights, I think.
And you want to see them when it's really bright outside? I don't think that's going to work out well. I think you might have to wait until it gets dark.
Is the switch in the bathroom?
No, it's right
No, it's
here.
right
You
there.
got to plug it in, man. Plug it in, plug it in. That's what you have to plug in. Plug it in. And if it shocks you, unplug it.
It didn't shock me yesterday.
Don't wrap it around my leg.
I know, but it's not.
Don't wrap it around my leg. Yes, it is long enough.
Oh.
Don't. I just said don't wrap it around my leg. And you're yes, it is wrapped around the leg. I just said don't do that, and you did it.
Riveting content.
See? This is what I got to deal with. You know what? Somebody's gonna get fired.
Can it be me, please?
Did you put that in the last one where it would be not? So you know what? Thinking, people. We teach thinking every single day. But our own children do not let the cat out. Our own children do not let the cat out. I'm talking to you, Keegan. You're the one that could pick up the cat. Did you look? Yeah. Is it on? Is it beautiful? Yeah, that's what I thought. All that for
Well, I sit over here and just listen to you ramble at the children.
Don't get me started.
I already told you I'm not getting you started.
Just
Listen, I had a day. I'm not getting anybody started.
Where's my Modelo? Hello, Modelo.
So, I have a bucket of colored pencils on my desk. The kids use my colored pencils when they need them. And today the bucket got spilled out.
And you found money.
They found Eagle Yuan, a coin, 1 yuan. And the one kid picked it up and was like, "Oh, what's this?" And he's like looking, and somebody took it from him and brought it up. "Mrs. Farr, this fell out of your bucket." I'm like, "Okay." So-and-so had it. And I'm like, "Okay." So I called the child over and I was like, "Here, you can have it." And he was like, "Really? But it's from China." I said, "Yep, I got a whole bunch more." So I just pulled out my little baggie of coins that was in my backpack and just started passing out coins. They're like, "But Mrs. Farr," I said, "I got so many more. I don't even care."
Isn't that like 300 pesos?
It's 3 pesos.
Come on now. That's like 400 pesos.
It's 3 pesos. But
per coin.
Listen, we left all those coins in the hotel, which is probably more than 1,000 yuan. And that's over 3,000 pesos. We left in the hotel
Why'd you
room.
leave it? What's wrong with you?
We can't take a jar of coins.
Why can't you?
Because nobody takes coins when you go to exchange. Not even the banks will take coins.
Why you gotta leave our money, man?
Whatever.
Why you gotta do that?
We gave the cleaning.
You want that
staff-
money now, don't you?
Me.
3,000 pesos.
I'd hand it out to the kids here.
You
have a
didn't.
coin.
You wouldn't. Yeah. See, that's just terrible.
Because you can't do anything with it.
Yeah, you can. Take your ass back to China and spend it.
You gonna take your ass back to China?
I am not going back to China.
Okay then. Yep. So I handed out a whole bunch of
I'm
coins.
not going back to Indiana. I'm not going back to Cali. I damn sure ain't going back to China.
I've not really been to Cali. I mean, I don't think the airport really counts, does it?
Well, I have.
I've only been to San Francisco Airport and Oakland.
I've only been to San Francisco.
Oh. Well, I've only been in the airports.
Chinatown and everything.
I haven't been anywhere else.
Yes, I have. Into the big park and the ocean and the Alcatraz tour around the bay on the boat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've done it. Oh cat, if you don't go away from me, I'm going to step on you. Hard like and squish you like grape. All right.
He's so needy today. What's your...
Because his brothers have skipped out on him and left the building. Thank the
Ghosted you?
Lord Jiwa.
Jiwa?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who Jiwa is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. You've been down south. You heard them Jiwas. There's a whole lot of Jiwas down there.
That's what they were saying?
What do you mean? That's what they were. I don't know what you heard. All I know is
Listen.
I've heard old ladies say, Lord Jiwa.
Look.
Jesus.
When I was in North Carolina.
Jesus is my...
Oh, don't do it. Listen, when Deacon was doing that, when we were in Hong Kong, that shit was so funny. I heard, when I was in North Carolina, I heard somebody say it, and I was like, what the hell are you saying? And they kept saying it. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Jiwa?
Yeah.
Man, please.
Like
Y'all
when
just
I
saying
went in,
people don't know about that Jiwa.
I went in and asked for a squirt, and they looked at me like I was crazy. Kept telling me the Cokes were in the back.
That's right. The Cokes are always in the back.
And I said,
in
but I don't drink
in the
Coke.
cooler.
I don't drink Coke.
The Cokes are in the cooler.
Cokes are-
next to Jiwa. Yeah.
But they didn't know what squirt was down there.
Hell no, I don't know about no squirt down there. Man, that's like talking about some burners. Man, please. Y'all Michigan people some red pop. Discerning your flavors through colors. Primary colors. All I know is color.
Look, go with Keegan. Go
Oh
downstairs.
God. Really, Keegan?
Follow her.
A little hungry there?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh my. All right.
Pizza day
It's
was a
Monday.
good choice.
This is our we've got how many more days?
4 more days.
4 more? After
Today's
today?
the 26th. So 3 after, 4. The 30th is the last day.
Yeah, 4 more podcasts, 4 more days, home stretch. Here we go. What we talking about? 90s hip hop.
Again?
No. That was yesterday. Oh, you got news for the people.
I do. I have my immigration appointment finally.
Dun dun dun.
It's only taken since July 14th when they first told us that our paperwork was submitted and ready to go. And
You
it's
know what's
August
interesting?
26th,
I thought
November
about this the other
26th.
day. Expats have like really short memories because you will bitch and moan that something's not right, you're not getting what you need, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as it gets done, then you stop talking about it. You stop dealing with it. It's like...
Because it's done.
But the problem still exists.
Oh, absolutely.
The problem for that next person, that next
for
expat,
your next contract.
yeah, that problem is still right there in front of you.
Yeah.
But we have this weird short, because I was thinking about it, it's like, okay, So in China, when things were not going smoothly or whatever, or people did things, you had to go run around and do stuff because somebody didn't just make a phone call or
Had
something
to
like
take
that.
a 6-hour train ride.
Right. But, you just all this stuff. But once it gets all done, then you're like, it's not like you don't feel like it's ever resolved, but you kind of forget about it. You're like, okay, it's done. And you move on to the next thing. But then you go and have to do it the following year, and all of the memories come back up, and you try to avoid all the bad things that you went through the year before, and you remember all the bad stuff until it gets done again.
Yeah.
And then you forget again.
Yep.
It's a weird thing that we do as expats.
Well, I think because we're always fearful of being in a country illegally because it can affect so much. And it's dangerous.
Yeah, people that are from that country do not understand the stress level.
Yeah, well, I was explaining to your boss after the meeting we had with a lawyer, and I said, I think so many of you don't even take into account that we are in a new country with no friends, no family. We didn't really know anyone before we started our jobs. We don't speak the language. We can't just walk into any place and communicate. And if our visas are not right, we are then illegal and can be deported. And we don't have a home. We don't have a place to stay. That's not an option for us.
Yeah.
And the look on her face was like, oh my God, I never thought of that. And I'm just like, that's why we're so stressed out when things aren't the way that they've been told, like we were told they were going to be. Because we rely on that information to be truthful and valid, and it hasn't been.
Yes, but we rely on that information. Like, we try to get that information up front so that we can have an easier transition once we get to that new place.
Right.
And when we, it feels like a bait and switch.
Yep, it really does feel like a bait and switch.
When you get to a place and it's all like out of sorts, when I asked the HR person, why didn't you just tell us this? Why didn't you just tell us you will not have a contract until sometime in late November? Why didn't you just tell us we could, all you had to do is just say to us, you're not going to get any of the things that you think you're supposed to get when you get here or any time after that. Because even if the paperwork was done, I still had to wait, until October?
Yeah.
To get mine, and mine was expedited.
Right.
So why didn't you just say that? Why didn't you say that we can't start the paperwork until you get here? Why wasn't that just said? And then once you got here, you were going to wait. And no, you weren't going to get a contract from us until after you get your paperwork. I mean, why didn't they just say all of that?
She told us at one point that we wouldn't get a contract until we got here. But from the way I understood it is that when we arrived, before we started work, we would go, like when we had that meeting with her and the principal at the hotel, I thought then they were going to bring our contracts.
Because we had just gotten there.
But no.
That's when you get contracts if you're going to get it when you come in the country.
And all of my friends who have worked here before, worked in Mexico City, have said that they had their contracts prior to coming to the country.
Most times that's usually how it goes if you've been hired.
But I was thinking about it this morning because I bet the reason why you got your bank account, you got the contract, all the stuff that she did quickly that we've been waiting since June for, is because you embarrassed her in front of your boss and the lawyer.
I don't think so.
Because she could have
all my stuff was done after that. Or all my stuff was done before.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Aaron, the bank account was not.
Yes, but the bank account had nothing to do with HR. That was the accounting department. They set that up after I signed the contract.
Oh, but the contract came from HR.
I don't know. It was in the accounting department. I sat there where we signed for our checks, and I sat there and went through my whole contract.
Did you get a copy of it?
No, because they're supposed to be putting it in English. So that I can have it in English, so I'll know exactly what to refer to if I need to refer to it. But honestly, there's not a whole lot to refer to. I took notes so that if there was anything that was like, yeah, you got to really know this. I wrote down like 4 things, and most of it was, it's not in the contract. It's not there. They don't have a contract like a regular employment contract that we're used to.
Yeah, like it spells out if you're sick,
yeah,
we dock you this. If you're late, you get this.
Yeah, but there's no there wasn't even anything in there that said what I'm used to. Like, you need to notify if you're going to miss work so many hours before work or whatever so that you can be covered. Nothing like that. Nothing spelled out. It's you just have to notify.
Not even the basics from McDonald's.
No. No, not at all. So, and a lot of it was just referring to a lot of it just referred to the national laws, national employment laws. It had no. It wasn't like. It was like, refer to this code, refer to that code. Just so I guess so you could read it because it's just a national law.
Huh.
And it was just, it wasn't anything I expected. It wasn't anything like any other contract I've ever had for any job. Oh God, she's gonna die. I don't know why she's coughing up a lung over there, but she's gonna tip out of her chair in a second. When you hear the thud, just giggle. See, she's gonna spit out her water. Come on, turn.
It just all of a sudden I got it was like really dry.
You know what? I think you need to go ahead and get longer legs because you in that chair is too tall for you.
I know.
Why don't you just let it down a tick? That's all you gotta do. Just tink. There you go. Now you're gnome height. Now it's all good. Now you're back to Chinese height, like my chair in China. You know what? The other thing that I thought about is we're always trying to fix the last job's problems.
Yeah.
And I tried to stay away from that because you want to kind of start fresh. It's kind of like being angry at the boy who did something yesterday, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you really don't want to do that. Every day you want to start, kind of give them a fresh start in your own mind.
Yeah.
If you can. Some of them you just got to watch your back because they might stab you in the back. But for the most part, you want to.
They might stab you in the front. Some of those kids.
You definitely want to give them a fresh start. But in every job, we're always looking at, like, every time when we start to see something, we'll say things like, in the last place, this same thing happened, and now you're doubly pissed off because it wasn't resolved there, and now you've got to deal with it yet again in a new place.
And it's not fair to them that they're...
Well, I don't know if it's not fair because they could have fixed their problems long ago. They didn't have to have that
recognize
problem.
That they had a problem.
Yeah, but they didn't have to have that problem. So I don't know if, that's the case. All I know is we, the expat, we are the ones that are getting frustrated and upset with things that we see around us because it was just happening in that last place where we came from.
Yeah.
Immigration problems, paperwork problems,
and these
language or just communication problems, not because of language, but because of will.
Yeah.
All that was the same stuff we dealt with in China.
Yep.
Well,
and it's
in
Thailand. And now our friend is in Poland and she's dealing with the same issues. And
oh, don't tell me that. Come on now.
She's got immigration stuff because apparently it takes a very, very, very long time to get your visa in Poland. And once
I never understood why it takes so long. These things are not. It's not really
apparently
rocket science.
they have a lot of immigration in Poland.
No, but why does it take a long time? Is it
I don't know.
Stamp. Put a picture. You know.
She said it takes
how
like
many
6 months.
How many could you do in a day? I mean,
A
think about
lot.
it. What are
A
you
lot.
doing? Once you, I mean, all the paperwork had to be verified for you to bring your ass in the country.
Right.
So, what are you really doing?
I don't know.
You know, you came in the way, whatever way you had to come into that particular country. If you had some verification process prior to getting to the country, then all your paperwork is essentially done.
Yep.
There's nothing else unless there really is nothing else.
Right.
Really, for any country, there's nothing else.
Well,
because your employer does all this stuff.
Well,
usually.
Right.
They've got to generate all the paperwork that says that yes, you have a job and yes, you have a place to live and you're going to be staying there for X amount of time because that's the length of your contract, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So then why does it take a long time to just put a visa in a passport? If it takes a long time to make a visa, like here, it takes a lot. You can't get your shit done because they can't laminate something. You know, the lamination machine is broken. I mean, come on now. What kind of world is this? You swap that bad boy out and they fix it. You don't sit there and wait for a repair guy.
What is the zone in the European Union where we can just travel, Americans?
I have no idea.
Is it the Schneg?
I have no idea. All I know is, some of this stuff, it's like they make it difficult just to make it difficult. When we have computers, you can print this stuff on out and lay it into a document and put a piece of clear tape over it, and it's done.
Right.
Stop acting like you're printing money.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And in some cases, that's exactly what it looks like these visas are. Like they've been like printed on stock that's not available, and they're printed in a way that they can't be forged, right?
Yep.
And it's just like, but that's not necessary. You go into other countries and all they give you is a damn stamp. So if I can get a stamp in one country, or just get a stamp, change your stamp. It's cheaper. It's easier. Ink is plentiful.
So I'm reading this thing. It's the I'm sure I'm saying it wrong.
Probably.
Schengen. I don't know. Schengen countries, and
that sounds very Germany.
Yeah.
German-like.
The American passport holders can travel freely within this zone of countries without having to show their passport every time. You don't have to go through immigration every time.
Okay, but
But you get 90 days free. So that's what our friend entered Poland on. Actually, she went into Norway and then went. Right. And then once you get there, then they start processing your paperwork. But that process can last up to 6 months, and you can't leave the country once you're past your 90 days if they aren't done.
Yeah, and then that kills your tourism.
Right. And then you can't.
I mean, I guess you could tour the country.
Right, you can tour the country, but you can't tour outside of the country. And I don't know how that works really for inside the country either. If you have, like in China, we always had to show our passports.
Yes, but they weren't checking.
They checked our visas in Shenyang,
in
Beijing.
I think they were checking to see if you were legal or illegal, but you would still be legal. Your paperwork is in process. You would be legal.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. I just find it interesting how the stuff we deal with, we slough off very, very quickly once it's done.
Yeah.
And we move on. And I think it would behoove employers to know that you're going to have much better employees that are expats. You're going to have far better employees if you take care of their paperwork as fast as possible. And you give them all the information that they need at the very beginning of the process. We are a shitty ass country when it comes to this paperwork.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us a long time to get it done. It is not our fault as the school. This is our country, and this is what we go through. We've gone through it with every single expat that we've hired.
That's what she was told before she came. She was actually given that information by the American director.
But we weren't.
But we weren't.
And that's what I'm saying.
But from what I understand, our situation is not normal.
Yes, but it doesn't matter. They knew their system. They knew that their system, that we were not going to start the process. Like, even though we had the right visas coming in from China, that the process hadn't even been started here yet.
Right.
Which we thought, when we got those things and sent that paperwork over, that they were going to then be able to get our paperwork started.
They should have.
And then they never said anything to us.
They pushed us to get it done.
Right. Like it was important. We never needed it because we were here. You're here, and I was here on a tourist visa, so we never needed to do any of that stuff.
Actually, you can't get the green card if you are holding a tourist visa, which is probably why it took so long for them to get that thing changed from Tijuana.
I don't understand. What do you mean you can't? I was on a tourist visa.
No, you weren't. They had it changed.
Yeah, but we came in the country under the tourist visa, right? You had a tourist visa.
We both had
the right visa.
We both had the right visa, but the guy in Tijuana stamped us as tourists.
Right.
But because we had the right visa, they had to have Tijuana change the status in the computer.
Which, that's hard to do.
Right. And it takes so long.
It does not take months to change a status in a computer system.
Because apparently, from what I understood,
that's
in
the purpose of the damn computers.
They asked for it to be changed on July 19th. Yours was changed, but mine wasn't.
I'm sorry, but this is the other problem that I have, is all these places with computers that don't seem to understand that computers make things faster. Right. Like, if your system was really slow before, you're not supposed to put a computer in there and get slower.
No.
Less efficient. The whole idea with the computer was to make everything more efficient. And if your systems don't get more efficient by adding in technology, then you had no reason to add the technology in the first place.
Right.
Yep. It's like me waiting for 2 weeks to get a spreadsheet unlocked just so I could copy and paste the data into the new version of the spreadsheet, when in all honesty, it took about 10 seconds for a different person to walk over, unlock it, and then I copied and pasted it right in front of them, and then I was done.
Oh, I know what I meant to tell you. So I was talking to your boss today. And
that's why you talk to my boss more than I talk to my boss.
I don't know why she was in my space so much today, but she was on my floor. And I said something to her about I had to hurry and go finish the thing I was doing so that I could learn how to do the form with the Roman numerals. And she's like, well, didn't your coordinator tell you how to do that? And I said, I asked her, and she told me she didn't know, and she left the room. And she's like, oh, no. I didn't tell Aaron how to do it. And I said,
sure didn't.
I said, so he won't do it until you tell him. And she's like, I gotta go. I gotta tell him.
FYI, I still have not been told. I don't even know what you're talking about. So
there's
I don't need to know.
Anyway.
Thanks. I really don't need to know.
I said, I don't know how to do it.
Because really, honestly, they just laid another thing on top of those reading logs. So they just laid another thing on top of the other things that I was trying to get out from under today. So it's like, why do you think any of this is going to get done in a timely manner? And anybody who does it is basically breaking your rules about not working when not at work.
Yeah.
The only way they can be getting this stuff done is that they are doing it at home.
Yeah.
They're bringing it home. Like I had to do this weekend. Sitting there working on stuff, trying to get stuff done. I brought home stuff tonight. I might get to it. I might not. But, if I'm doing paperwork all day, because I said that to my boss today. I was like, do you guys really go to school to do paperwork? Because you do paperwork like we teach.
Yeah.
It's like we go to school to learn to teach, and then we go into the classroom and teach.
Yep.
And you seem to come out of school and do paperwork. And she was like, it's SEP. It's like, that's fine, but sounds like you need teachers in SEP.
No kidding.
Not pencil pushers, because they're not teaching.
Right.
So then they're telling you that you must do all of these things that have no meaning to the teaching.
Right.
You know, it's not like teaching is getting better.
No.
Because if it was, after just 1 or 2 years of gathering all this stuff, all the teachers would get like exponentially better over the years. And they're not getting better because they're still trying to be, they're still having to convince Mexican teachers to do what we did in the 90s.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, SEP is not helping you. And why are you doing all of this ridiculous paperwork for a thing that doesn't matter? Like all these reading logs. What does that tell you? Nothing.
That the kids aren't reading?
But what does it matter? It's all outside. It's all outside of the classroom. It's all stuff that has nothing to do with what's being taught in the school. So that means a homeschool student that never goes in your school might have tons of books read.
Oh, yeah.
So then what's the point?
Our kids have more books read than almost any kid in the whole school.
What's the point of it then? You see, they're gathering
But I didn't
data.
like doing reading
That's why
logs
I'm doing my wall the way I'm doing it. My little bulletin board. They're just gathering data, doing nothing with the data.
Right.
You know?
Did you do your bulletin board yet?
I stuck up half of it on my way out today because the half of them are done.
All right.
And it's all data. But you know, they're not getting that just to collect data does you no good if you don't apply what you've collected.
Right.
If you don't learn from what you're seeing. And they had us like the error reporting thing that we have to do. We have to fill out a spreadsheet that says how many they got wrong on a test, but then there's no context with the test.
Yep.
And the teacher that gave the test. And what happens next year? The test will be different. It's like you're not giving the same test.
I was told today that we won't be giving exams like we did this time again.
You won't. I will.
The teacher who told me is in 4th grade.
Like I said, you won't. I will.
I said, what do you mean? I was told by my coordinator that the next time we give exams that I can do it the way I wanted to do it, the way I ended up doing it anyway. But that I needed to, hold all their hands this first time. She's like, what is she talking about? We don't give exams again. Everything is now as you go.
What does that even mean?
Instead of doing the end of the term exam, now we're supposed to give weekly or bi-weekly tests or the end of the unit tests.
Who made that up?
I don't know.
Where'd that even come from?
That's what she told me
From
today.
what I was understanding, we had to give final exams, and we give a midterm every term. A midterm and a final, and then another midterm and a final. It's the end of the year, and you go home. Why do they come up with this stuff? Why would you switch?
Oh.
Because switching doesn't teach them anything.
Nope.
You should have been giving tests all along.
That's what I said.
Whatever. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's like how are they teaching or calling it teaching when they're just basically throwing everything against the wall and seeing what sticks, but then not learning from what sticks and just doing it again next year.
Yeah. Yep.
How does that make sense? Whatever. That's why it's not worth the time and the effort that you're putting into it, that I'm putting into it. It doesn't make sense.
Well, today we were at recess. I went out to pick up the kids. And mine were just everywhere. And I finally got fed up. And I said, get in line, put your hands next to your body, and be quiet so we can go inside. And as soon as they were quiet, everyone was standing still. I was like, okay, let's go. And then the principal comes running after me. You can't go, you can't go. And I said, why not? Well, they have to be in line and be quiet. And I said, they were and they are. Well, you have to wait to be told you can go. I said, but she wasn't paying attention to me, and I have work to do with these guys. So then she makes them line up again in the hallway and told them to be quiet. They weren't talking. And she's like, okay, you can go. And I'm like, What the fuck was that all about?
Control. The semblance of control inside of a world where there is none.
I was like, I have so much to do. I don't have time to ass around with them for 15 minutes while
that
they
was my
play.
thing is, like, we have to take them to their special classes. So then you need them to line up. How long am I supposed to wait?
I have started like saying, okay, at like 3 minutes to, if we have to go to music class, which is 2 doors down from me, I'll say line up. By the time we're supposed to be there, I'll say, okay, if you're not in line, I'm just going. And I just leave. Like, fuck it. You can't get your little ass out of the chair when it's time to go somewhere, but you can't keep your little ass in the chair when it's time to work. Fuck you, I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't like, especially for 6th graders, but I really don't like the idea of marching them around the building.
Yeah, but your kids are dangerous because they come running and ripping up those stairs.
Somebody should fucking
trip them.
Trip their ass down the stairs, and they'll learn not to run down.
Well,
the
I
stairs.
told you the kid broke their arm or leg last week, and no, there was nothing said today. And I had a child show up in those fucking wheelie shoes today, and I'm like,
that's great with stairs.
I know that is in the handbook that they can't wear those because I remember that from the orientation when they were talking about that, and then I looked at the translator teacher and I was like, they have those, like, kids would wear those with all these stairs? And she's like, oh yeah, you have to send them, like, call their parents and tell them to bring all their shoes. So this little girl comes running back into my classroom and her shoes sound weird, and I'm like, what are you doing up here? You're supposed to be in PE. Oh, I need my homework notebook because I have the wrong shoes. And I'm like, do you have on wheelie shoes? And she's like, yes, I can't get the wheels out. I'm like, why would the mom even think that that's an acceptable thing for her to put on her feet in the morning to come to school with a place with nothing but stairs everywhere?
But what was the child wearing last week?
I don't know. Tennis shoes?
Right. So where are those shoes this week?
That's what I'm wanting to know.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just waiting for her to fall down and hurt
Nothing
herself.
is consistent. And I think that is another thing that we are then contending with because we're always looking for consistency.
And structure.
But we're looking for, you have a rule and you follow it.
Yeah.
Not you have a rule and then we decide if we're going to follow it for every single situation.
Yep.
And this is just the third in a line of places that rules don't really matter. They're not really following any set rules. They've written them, but they don't follow them, so then they have no meaning. And
right.
they're talking about, like, we're supposed to, like, now, because we were going to leave our kids out on the playground, just walk back in. If they're running around, we walk back in. When they come in, they have to go to coordination. Done. So simple, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nobody wanted to do it. They didn't want to give us the ability to do that because that meant somebody else was going to have to do something. Right?
Yep.
So then it became, well, you have to go, and if they're not in line, you have to figure out who wasn't in line and then give them a piece of paper, and then that piece of paper you have to fill out, which now you're standing there wasting time of your class dealing with these 2, 3, 5, 10 students or whatever, filling out papers for them to even enter into the classroom now.
Yep.
And it's like, oh God. So I'm taking away from their educational time. The ones that were good, they're the ones being punished.
Yep.
It's like, no, that's not how this goes. This is why you need a place for those being punished. You need a place for that. You need in-school suspension. You need people that's what they do, because that's what every school has. You have to have, whether it's teachers or whatever, you have to have people that do not have any classes after recess or whatever, and they deal with those kids. So you go walking in and they say, nope, you guys weren't in line. You come with us. We fill out your stuff. You must have this paper in order to get to class. You come to class, you give that paper to the teacher keeps it. The teacher gets 3 of those papers, you get written up. That's a warning.
Right.
I mean, that it's a simple process, but they don't have anybody available to then do that work. So then they throw it all on the teachers, but then it's never going to get done now.
Right,
because we don't have
time.
time. Once I get my kids into my class has started.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like we don't have any passing time.
Nope.
So basically, you take them in at 10:30. Guess what time class started? 10:30.
Yep.
And they might have to change classes. So that's a whole another 5 minutes gone with them just running around changing classes. And then they come in and the first thing almost all of them say after recess, can I go to the bathroom?
Can I drink some water? Can I go to the bathroom?
Because they've been running around for a half an hour.
Yep.
Yep. It's like their whole system. I said this to the director. It's like you feel like everything is, oh, you did this really cool thing. This is a really good idea. This is great. One step forward. And then you got 5 things that just come right behind that and drag you right. It's like, how do you live that way? I don't understand that. I don't understand not being able to do the good things well and not being able to get rid of the bad. I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't either.
With all these people and all these teachers are literally natural born problem solvers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're always solving problems, minute to minute, class to class. We're trying to figure out what's the best way to do whatever. We're like doctors in that way. Yep. Because doctors are always looking at the situation going, okay, it worked for this guy, but it's not working for that guy. What do I do to fix this problem in these people? All right. Well, if that's the case, why are they just not asking the damn teachers?
Oh, Aaron, the psychologist today, I wanted to hit him. This kid, I sent a note home with the child on Friday because he was just acting out of his mind. So today, after lunch, the kid, I had to go over to the Spanish classroom for something, and the kid comes up to me, Mrs. Farr, I need to get a sticker for my book. And excuse me? I don't give stickers. Yes, look, Prof. Alex said to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? And he shows me this chart. There's only one other kid who has this chart, and half the time he doesn't even remember to ask me for a sticker, so it's really pointless. But the psychologist had set this up so that the kid gets a sticker for good behavior because he had a note sent home on Friday. So I was like, okay, I have to talk to the psychologist. I will get back with you. So I had to go upstairs to coordination to get some things printed and get some folders. And I stopped in his office and I said, what is this nonsense of stickers for this child? Oh, yes, I had a meeting with his mother and she thinks it's going to be a good idea. And I said, I don't have behavioral problems with this kid. He has the highest grade in the 2nd grade. I don't have issues. I went back and looked in his notebook, and the last time I sent a note was September 13th. So why am I giving him stickers for behavior when he isn't a behavior problem? Oh, just give them to him for the next few weeks until Christmas breaks. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, God. I said, I am not giving him stickers. He's not a dog.
No, but why would any person do a thing just because it's the path of least resistance? Why would you do that? If it has no meaning, then why waste the time?
And the resources.
If it has no meaning, because that's what they're saying. They're like, oh, it's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal, then I don't need to do it.
Right.
If it's not a big deal. Apparently it is a big deal because you sent him to go get a sticker. So it is a big deal. Now, why would we continue to do something for someone who doesn't need it?
Right. Here.
It's like giving somebody electric shock therapy that's cured.
It's like giving kids the cough drop lollipop things because they say they have a sore throat, but they haven't had a sore throat all day. They just saw some other kid with it. So you're now going to give them medicine that they don't need?
Yeah. It's like the placebo effect.
So I was like, I cannot wait till this parent-teacher conference this week so I can talk with the parents and tell them their child is not a problem in my classroom. He just had an off day.
I know, but I think, honestly, I don't know if that's really worth your time and effort.
Well, I'm not giving him a sticker. They can kiss my ass.
Well, let what's his name give him stickers.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, he's the one that set it up.
Yeah, but
why else wouldn't he give the stickers? He's the one that did it.
The Spanish teacher and the English teachers are the ones who have to do it.
Yeah, but he's made it. He made it and didn't tell you about it. So he's got to give the damn stickers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. And I'm just
whatever, you got to give the stickers then. You better go into your little drawer and pull out a sticker. If you ain't got it there, grab it out your ass.
Like, motherfucker.
You know, because you made it up. You made it up, didn't inform anybody, and now you want
us to just do it.
I know, just do it because it doesn't matter.
If it doesn't matter, then I don't need to do it. So kiss my ass.
It doesn't. That's what I mean, these are the things that we've been dealing with for years now.
Yeah.
Different countries, and I would say that most expats probably listening will say, yep, yeah, been there, done that, yep, mm-hmm. There's another one, yep. Like when we first started talking about the list in China, and we had everybody was like,
yes, I want to get in on that.
Yes, because I went through all of those things living in China. It's like now that we've been more than two places, it's like now you're seeing where these things are symptoms of different problems.
Well, and now I know, like, our friend who taught Aaron and Keegan, he worked at their school. And he's been to, like, Ecuador and Jamaica and some country in Africa and Mexico. And he's just been all over the world teaching. And he said he needed a break, and so he went to Washington. He and his girlfriend took jobs in Washington. The state of Washington. Okay. So that they could get a break. From the crazy.
A break from the crazy. He wanted normal.
They just wanted a break from the crazy.
Yeah, because I don't get it. It really does not make sense. A lot of the things that we're running into in 2018.
Right.
It's like none of these things should exist in 2018. 1970, maybe. Yeah. 80, it should have been on its way out. 90, you should have had answers by then. 2018? Really? People? Come on now. That shouldn't even be. All right, nope. You got any things over there? While you're over there Facebook, and I see your Facebook, and I see you. I'm watching you.
I was scrolling to see if
she's scrolling.
If we had gotten anything on the Traveling Fars Facebook page.
So, do we have any new things?
No.
Everybody feels like that they don't want to send us new stuff. We need new stuff, people.
I think because it's Cyber Monday.
I don't care. Hence, Cyber Monday, get on your email and tell us who you want. Oh, my goodness. Really?
I went to work this morning. I had 72 emails in my inbox. I came home. I had 192 emails. I'm like, what the hell happened? In just that short time, how did I get Cyber Monday? All these advertisements from Skyscanner.com, Expedia, Travelocity, Kayak, something else, all sorts of different traveling things.
I don't know. I don't think I've gotten a lot of Cyber Monday sales.
Uh-oh. Ex-Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort violated plea agreement and lied to the investigators in the Russia probe. Bum, bum, bum.
Cool.
I wonder how long.
But he was already on his way to jail, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
now he doesn't. Now he's not gonna have immunity.
Right.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. You dumbass.
Dude. Really? Who were you protecting? I mean, think about that. You had immunity. Who were you protecting? Why would you be protecting anyone if you had immunity, or at least he had immunity from further prosecution, right? Because he already got convicted.
Yes,
So he's already got immunity from some things, and you messed that up? Dude. I don't think so. Nobody is worth all that, especially not the Trumpage.
Especially not the damn. Well, maybe he's afraid of the Russians.
Man, if they wanted you, you'd already be dead. They proved that in England, right?
Yep. They're killing folks just by them touching things.
Right. You heard about who was it? It was like the police officer or whatever that was first on the scene. He got the stuff too. He got it too because he came on the scene, and then they tested him later, and they found out, he had come in contact with the same stuff just by being first on the scene.
Yeah, that. No.
Apple shopping event. Ha! You're right. I'm buying your apples.
If we had the loot, you'd buy those apples.
Oh,
I was working on something for NaPodPoMo.
NaPodPoMo?
On my sketchbook app. On my iPad in the classroom. And the kids are like all around me. Mrs. Farr, that's so cool. Because, of course, I'm using my pencil. And what kind of iPad? And I said, it's a Pro 2. Oh, Mrs. Farr, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, guys. And then they want to try to put their fingers out like they're going to touch my iPad. And I said, if you touch my iPad, I will cut your fingers off.
Don't touch
my iPad.
Even though, the main thing that iPads are supposed to be used with is a finger.
But don't touch my iPad, because if you knock it out off the desk or out of my hands or whatever, I know your little ass doesn't have $2,000 to replace it.
Well, why not? They're rich. I'm rich, bitch.
Look, I ain't rich. And their parents are going to say some stupid shit like it's my fault for having it out.
Yep.
Motherfuckers, don't touch my shit.
Yeah, you better put it away.
I was at my lunch.
Better put it away.
Trying to do some stuffs.
Better put it away.
I was like,
telling you.
Little
you
motherfuckers.
Better put it away.
I put it away because I was like, no, get away from me.
Because.
Oh, I know. Have you started getting back the permission slips for the aquarium?
Probably.
FYI, they have to give you a photocopy of their parents' ID.
I know.
Could you imagine that happening in the U.S.?
No.
Because I was talking to the British teacher,
Just
and
give
I'm
it
like,
to the teacher? No.
Like a kid, the parent sent 2 copies of the ID. I don't know why, but the kid was like, he forgot it on the floor, and so of course I picked it up and put it in my file because this man's ID is there.
Confidential information.
Right, and I'm just like, what the hell?
You don't take confidential information and give it to teachers. You take confidential information and give it to the school office.
Right, and that's what I was saying to the British teacher. I'm like, would they even do this in the U.S. or in the UK? And she's like, no. I said, we don't even get to touch that stuff.
No.
That stuff is sent from the office to the parents directly, and then the parents must then return it directly to the office. The teachers never touch it.
Because it goes in the classroom. And if it's in the classroom, it's essentially, you'd have to have a filing cabinet that was under lock.
Right.
So that you could put it in the filing cabinet, put it there until it comes and gets collected by whomever. That's the problem.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We don't have any of those things. I can't even lock my door to my classroom. People can walk in and out of there all day long. I can't lock my desk. I can't lock the door to my classroom. Okay, so guess what? Really?
Yep.
And yeah, I've got all those same papers paper clipped on my desk. There's nowhere else to put them.
Yep.
There's no point in trying to hide them.
I put them in my desk drawer, but my desk locks.
Yeah, your desk locks. And you can lock your door.
Well, I don't anymore
But
because
you
what's the
could.
point? Yeah.
You could.
I went through that whole beginning of the year.
They talk about, this is confidential information. They wouldn't let us have the cell phone numbers of our parents at the beginning of the school year. Remember we had to make all those phone calls?
Yeah.
And then they took them back so fast because they said it was confidential and we couldn't have it. But I can have their entire ID.
Right? I can have their name, address, birth date, ID number.
I'm sure somebody could find a way to make some money off of that.
I was like, this is like
stealing identification, stealing people's identity, and
buying
like stuff
identity
online.
fraud.
Are you kidding me?
Identity fraud is a real thing, and you're just sending this stuff to the school with your kids, and then the school then has to give it to SEP.
Yeah, no.
And the kids have to bring their school IDs. And my Spanish teacher is collecting all the school IDs Because then when we go, they have to have their school ID as well as the permission slip with their parents' ID.
Oh, speaking of IDs, what's the ID that we can use so we can go to places that don't cost a lot of money? Is that the ID?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's our school ID.
Okay.
Because it says we're teachers on it, and it says where, and...
I didn't know that was the thing. I thought it was something else that they were supposed to give us so that we could go places.
Nope. Ooh, I had a dream that when you came back from Grand Rapids, your mother was with you.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And I was freaking out, like, where is she going to sleep? And
yeah, that's not going to happen. I don't think you have to worry about that.
I was tripping. I woke up this morning like, what the hell was
She's
that?
in her element right now. Winter.
Right.
Michigan people hate and love winter all at the same time.
It was a snow day for most of the state today.
See what I'm saying? Michigan people love and hate winter.
It's so beautiful.
No, it's not.
And it's great food. You get to wear cool clothes.
No.
You get to snuggle up and drink cocoa and bake and have lots of soups.
Trust me, people, if you haven't lived in the north of the world where you get snow, it ain't cool.
I love snow.
See? Michigan people.
But I don't want to walk in it.
No.
I don't want to shovel it.
You haven't shoveled. When was the last time you shoveled some snow? Come on, what year was that? Are you kidding me? Shovel snow. I don't think I've ever seen you shovel snow.
2000 and...
Oh, you were sweeping snow. When
5
I
or
met
6. That's
See?
When we first
sweeping
our
snow.
First, we missed our.
How terrible is
we
that?
missed our.
No, we didn't miss
18
shit.
years.
No, we didn't
our
miss
first
nothing.
date anniversary.
No, see, that's just it. You would come up with these weird.
It was last
anniversaries.
week.
What is that? Is that wood, brick, stone, marble? What is that? Nothing. See,
Onyx.
nothing.
Get me some
It ain't-
Onyx. I don't
it
have
ain't
any of that.
shit. Air freshener. What is that?
Snuggle time.
Glade.
It's snuggle time. You have to give me some snuggle time.
That is not what that is.
It is. I just
Paper.
made it up. It's snuggle time.
Ice cube.
Ice cube. Ice cube.
I'm telling.
Back to the rap.
What?
Back to the rap. Ice cube.
No, we go back to rap. A little iced tea. Anyway. Do you have anybody over there? Because we've been waiting for you for like 10 minutes now.
I said no.
You ain't pumping nobody today? You ain't going to change to the voice or nothing?
Nah, I'm good.
What?
The gift for 18 years is porcelain.
18 years for a first date?
No, just 18-year anniversary is porcelain.
Porcelain.
I don't want porcelain. I want some onyx.
Yeah, okay.
You should get me that.
Onyx?
Yeah, I don't have any. I have obsidian, but I don't have any onyx.
Okay.
I could use some opals too.
Oh, no.
A couple opals.
Okay, now you're getting expensive. I'll get you that after I get my monitor speakers over here.
No.
And my new aperture light.
I'm wearing my moonstone today.
I don't know why you just told the people that.
Because I need
people
some.
really don't care.
I need some new stones. I haven't had any.
You don't actually.
I haven't had any.
You
in
have
some
like
time.
6 trillion of them, and some of them are still wrapped in plastic up there. You haven't even taken them out yet.
That's not true.
There is some stuff up there that you haven't even taken out yet. It's still sitting up there. Go ahead. Go on up there. Pull it out. It's like new.
Like new and being new are
It's
not
like
the same.
new, like Christmas. Like Christmas. What did you do?
I don't know.
Ew, you dripping all over yourself?
I'm bleeding on my forehead. It's
All
dry
right.
skin, I think.
That's it? That's all you got?
That's all I have.
Really?
I don't have a voice.
Oh, but you do.
I do not.
Oh, yeah. You have your straight up marketing, like telemarketer, Vanna White's in the back with the product voice. You got that.
I do.
You definitely got that. Say goodbye to the people.
Don't forget the paper.
Oh, I gotta do the paper. Oh, I gotta do the paper in a short time. All right, here we go. Here's the paper. 1 minute. If you want to find us on the YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, iTunes, or the Spotify, you can find us at The Traveling Fars. If you want to find us at the Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at Traveling Fars. If you want to send us an email, travelingfars@gmail.com. And the blog space, the travelingfars.blueberry.net. No E's in the blueberry.